All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the BTC Sessions. We've got a live stream coming at you for BTC Sessions. We are going to be talking about something called Bitcoin Gold. I'm sure we'll splinter off into maybe a couple other little conversations here. But I've got some great guests today. I have Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. How you doing, man?
Pound that like button, baby.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've got Kenn Bosak in the house. How you doing?
Hey, I'm well. How goes it?
I'm great. So we've got a good chat going on. I'm very excited to have two awesome guests. I'm stoked to have these guys every time that I either go on their show or they come on here. But yeah, we're going to talk Bitcoin Gold. And actually, it was Kenn that came to me and he was like, "Hey, maybe we should talk about this." If you don't know what Bitcoin Gold is, it is essentially going to be a fork of Bitcoin. But it differs in a few ways. It's not, we'll say, an unfriendly fork like Bitcoin Cash, where it competes directly. It is a friendly fork, meaning that it goes off. It's on its own mining algorithm. It has, what's the word I'm looking for? It's differentiating itself right out the gate. So it's meant to be an altcoin. That's what it said. It's not Bitcoin. It's something new. So and there's some other things we'll get into. So maybe I'll start with Kenn. Kenn, how did you come across this, and what are your thoughts? Maybe we can get in just your overview.
Oh, well, as always, I was watching Adam's show and he broke the news. I mean, that was the first place I heard it. And then right after he was like, "Yo, you heard it here first." A couple moments later, I'm reading it on Cointelegraph. I feel like they heard it there first too. And, I was just sitting there thinking like, well, I personally feel like I kind of dropped the ball on Bcash because I sold quite a bit of Bitcoin to avoid the fork. And I didn't realize by trying to mitigate my risk and getting rid of the Bitcoin to get some other altcoin that I lost out on money that I could have got, from an airdrop. So as soon as I heard about a potential another airdrop, I was like, wait a minute. Let me look into this, because if we're looking at, a potential fork with SegWit 2x and another one with Bitcoin Gold, I do not want to miss this. I want to make sure that I'm in the know. So I tried to work my way into the know. I'm asking a bunch of questions. If anybody's interested and want to ask any questions, they could join the Slack channel and just ask away. They're pretty fast with their responses. And sometimes there's no answer yet. And that's on things that I could understand. But personally, I'm excited for another airdrop. And I mean, as we all seen, Bcash isn't necessarily hurting Bitcoin. I wouldn't say in the price sense. I mean, we have tons of altcoins, and every day there's another altcoin. So this to me is just another free altcoin we are all going to wake up to. And I don't want people to miss out on this opportunity like I kind of feel like I did on Bcash.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's Adam. So you're clearly the one that broke the story first. How did you get to have that information first? Can for anybody that didn't see it, can you just give them a rundown of maybe what you talked about and how you got that information?
Well, yeah, the thing is, we've been worried about these forks for a little while. And one day, a few weeks ago, I thought about it and I was just like, wait a second. The Bcash thing didn't hurt us at all. And it's just a bonus. People are worried about this 2x thing. They're going to do it. They're going to form their own altcoin. No one is doubting what the real Bitcoin is. This is just a unique way to form a new altcoin. Now, the 2x people and the Bcash people, they're doing it for unfriendly reasons. But in the end of the day, this is just something that's going to help Bitcoin holders. And I called it a crypto dividend. And many others are calling it that too. All you do is you get this one-time payment. It's a dividend, a one-time dividend when this thing is created, basically. This new free coin is sent to you just by holding Bitcoin. And I started to realize, like, more and more, they're not going to be the only two people who do this. The only two, they're going to be friendly forks. In fact, I came up with the term friendly fork back in, I think, March, when we were really worried about this fork thing. So fast forward to today, or to a few weeks ago, when I was talking about this crypto dividend concept. And I said, if you happen to be working on one of these altcoins, because all it is an altcoin, but just a unique way of distributing an altcoin and creating an altcoin, contact me. So someone contacted me, someone who was indirectly connected to the Bgold thing, and I call it Bgold. And again, they're not trying to pretend to be Bitcoin. The other ones, that's what their goal was, Bcash and 2x. These guys, in fact, these guys are not friends of 2x at all. They're trying to beat 2x to the punch.
Yep.
So they contacted me. Someone sort of related to them, heard me talk about the crypto dividend, agreed with the whole concept, said he knew about these dudes, and then pointed out to me that, in fact, these guys had been talking for a month out in the open. It was no secret. Other people knew about. Charlie Lee actually knew about this. And you can actually go on Bitcoin Talk and see that there's been, in fact, they started a thread back in July about this Bgold thing and about a GPU coin. So it was no secret. So, but then once I got the confirmation from the indirect person, and then I kind of talked to somebody over there, the guy Jack, who's got the Twitter account, then I was like, I gotta publicize this thing right now, because I think it is a tool that will completely neuter 2x, because there are people who are still worried about 2x now. Because the more of these crypto dividends that are created, the less scary the ones that are created to cause trouble will be. Not that they should be scary at all. So that is my point for just getting, there's going to be more and more of these things. The more the merrier. It's more lucrative to hold Bitcoin than it ever was before. So I like it. Altcoins are created every day. So there's a new way of creating altcoins. Big deal. And I get a free coin from it. So awesome.
Absolutely. There's a question in the chat here. Chef Eric said, what's this going to do to the hash rate? Isn't this asking for trouble? And actually, that's a good question. And the answer is nothing, because it's not mining with the same algorithm. It's called Bitcoin GPU is another name for it. It's mined using GPUs. So part of the reason behind this is they wanted to, I guess it's to further decentralize things. But it does not compete for hash rate with Bitcoin, unlike Bitcoin Cash, where it is getting those miners switching over back and forth whenever it is more profitable. So we're not going to have that problem with Bitcoin GPU or Bgold or whatever we're going to call it. The mining is no longer an issue. So that's fantastic.
If anything, this is an option for when Ethereum goes to proof of stake, and there's a lot of people with GPUs out there that are like, shit, what am I going to do with this hash power? Well, now you have an option, and that's how I see it. And what they're doing instead of SHA-256 is what they're calling Equihash, Equihash, and that's the mining algorithm. I believe it's the same 21 million market cap, 10-minute blocks. 1 megabyte block size. It's sticking to all the original core principles of Bitcoin and changing as little as possible to make it mining possible for GPU, sort of like the Litecoin philosophy. Change as little as possible because the Bitcoin core devs are the shit and they made something that's pretty much perfect. Change as little as possible and it remains as perfect as possible.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to happen. This one, I feel like I'm going to take a bit of a different approach than I did to Bitcoin Cash. So I liquidated my Bitcoin Cash, well, as much of it as I could immediately, and then I wasn't able to get some of it out of my keep key until a bit later. But I did sell that just because, Bitcoin Cash wasn't something I wanted to hold. And Bitcoin Gold isn't necessarily something I want to hold, but I think I'm gonna wait this one out a little bit. I'm gonna let it sit and just kind of watch, because again, it's free money. But I'm gonna wait it out and I'm just let it sit there. It should be interesting what you're talking about with the hashing power from Ethereum. I think it'd be very smart for them to launch right around the same time that it switches to proof of stake on Ethereum, because they would immediately capture at least a significant portion of that. I think. Well, if I was mining, I'd give it a go.
That would mean hopefully Ethereum would have proof of stake ready for the end of October, early November, because that looks to be the release date. End of October, early November is from what I've seen in the Slack. What else?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be before 2x. That's the goal.
Yes, that is the goal. Yeah.
Now so I was looking at the website. Now I know it. I don't know where it's out of, but
China, clearly.
yeah.
But that's why I was so adamant about us talking about this, because China has a hard time communicating with us sometimes, and that's where we all end up late to a party, because publications didn't pick it up, or certain people don't read the language or don't communicate. I mean, the biggest thing lacking in crypto is marketing. It's the biggest flaw right now. There's no marketing. So if we don't talk about these things, who's going to learn about them? If we didn't if Adam didn't talk about it, would anybody be talking about it? You know what I mean? Like, would people even know? And that's because of a lack of communication. So that's why I think that it's a good call that we're here talking about it, because it's not that easy for people in China to just make a great website and then make sure their code's good. And there's a lot to manage. And these people that Vitalik and people like Charlie Lee, they're busy worrying about their code. And the people that are working on this are worried about the code, not so much the marketing. It's almost up to the community to make sure everybody's aware, because they can't necessarily worry about all of that when they're focusing on the code. The marketing seems to get put on the back burner, and then we all lose out because of a lack of communication.
Yeah, and I mean, like, some of this, I'd say in that sense, most of it, I feel shouldn't need, well, no, I won't say that. Shouldn't need marketing, but when we're being real and there's how many hundreds of altcoins, I mean, other than if you were Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum that is already kind of well known, I guess essentially you do have to now market. It's no longer the code that that gets people to use your coin. It's how many ears and eyes you have on you. And I think what we're actually seeing now is if you can get enough eyeballs as you fork from Bitcoin, then you may be successful. I think we're going to see a lot more of this, because it's not only is it's the easiest way to get more users to even just in the beginning start to use your coin. It's also a way to, I guess, incentivize. It incentivizes people to hold more Bitcoin, because if everybody's forking and making these alts on top of, or like from Bitcoin, then all of a sudden holding Bitcoin becomes a gold mine, not just because the value of Bitcoin, but because you're getting all of these random forks that are flying off of it. So I don't know, Adam, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, Bitcoin is the valuable root coin to all of this. That's what the term it is the root. They're all coming off from the root. It is just another reason to hold the Bitcoin, because this is the beginning of something big. This crypto dividend thing this is just the start. There's going to be a fourth one, no doubt. The question now is who is going to jump in the ring and be the one that comes out next. And since they're a friendly fork, I hope it's them. If there are any other friendly forks up there that want to step to the plate, be my guest. But if these guys actually do it, they have a plan, a real good distribution plan. They have a English-speaking marketing person, just a PR they're going to do well, and it's going to really hurt 2x. And if you read this guy's tweet, if you read Jack's past tweets, he is no fan of Jihan and all those guys over there at all. So I think that's exciting. I think this is partially a way to fight back against the 2x people, against what they're doing, against centralization. And also, this will be competing with Ethereum eventually too. I mean, you guys have kind of danced around that a little bit, but I think they even mentioned that they sent me like a press release thing. It said something like that. I read it off in one of my shows. I guess maybe in the show notes we can give a link to the show where I
Yeah, yeah,
where I broke the story and everything like that. But
yeah, they'll be competing for a little while until Ethereum goes to proof of stake. That's why it's somewhat not a big deal, but it is something for the short term they will be competing with. And when BTG is released, I would like to keep a track and keep an eye on the hash power for Ethereum and the hash power for BTG and just see exactly how much moves. You know, that would be very interesting to see if it's more profitable to mine BTG with your CPU than it is for Ethereum.
Well, and we've got the difficulty bomb that's hitting Ethereum to encourage miners to go along with the new fork to proof of stake. But like again, if it becomes super difficult to mine Ethereum even on a fork, then there you go. There's where you can point your hashing power, I suppose. We had somebody in the chat here. They said, "What will be Bgold's use?" Actually, two questions. One said, "Is there any link to real gold?" Answer is no.
No. This is more of a worst case scenario, so that if SHA-256 gets too centralized or something were to happen in that sense, this could be a fallback version of Bitcoin that's been, it carries the best parts of Bitcoin. It's, back to GPU mineable, which keeps it more decentralized than the ASICs semi-centralized mining that's happening now. I mean, when you listen to people like Craig Wright talk, and he says, I don't care if it costs you $20,000 to contribute to the network. By this point in time, if you don't have that, screw yourself. But I think, Satoshi, the real Satoshi would disagree and would like the fact that anybody who wants to contribute, not the Bitcoin 1%ers, but anybody can contribute. And this takes it back to that decentralized core value.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, that's what they're looking for. I think somebody's asking what's the main utility of this fork. In my eyes, the utility for me is exactly that they're distracting from the 2x fork. In fact, I hope another fork happens before 2x. I hope there's a 10 megabyte hard fork. I hope there's a 20 megabyte. I'll just toss them all in there because it brings eyes to the legacy chain of Bitcoin that everybody is still on even after Bitcoin Cash happened. And then if Bgold happens, then people will say, well, that's an offshoot. And if we have two forks before 2x even hits, then it's pretty much dead on arrival, because at that point everybody's going to go, well, this is just another offshoot. Yep. This isn't Bitcoin. Yeah, and that's what I imagine will happen. I could be wrong here, but this is what I see coming down the pipeline, and I kind of do hope there is another fork of some sort before 2x, just to further entrench the idea that this is Bitcoin and you can't fuck with it.
Yeah, it's
there's only one Bitcoin. That's all this is. The more the merrier. Just they're saying the same thing over and over again. There's only one Bitcoin, and we're using it to create altcoins. They're not using Bcash to create altcoins. They're using Bitcoin to create altcoins. And the more the merrier, the more that fact is reinforced, and the more people get used to saying, well, I'm going to buy Bitcoin because I know in the future I'm going to get these future crypto dividends from it. So
the other effect that it might have is, okay, if you're holding Bitcoin and you're getting these dividends for holding Bitcoin, and then you decide you want to sell those dividends and buy more Bitcoin, that's just going to be further demand. Like it's like a positive, like a feedback loop where people are dividends, sure, I'll put that back into Bitcoin, and yes, it drives up the price even more. So I mean, it's going to be really interesting, because I think this is just the first of what we're going to see here.
Yeah, definitely. We're in a new era here. This is, I said that this coming year is going to be the year of the crypto dividend, the year of the forks. So come on, people, if you got one on the drawing board, spread the word and try to beat 2x to the punch.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I said, Ken, I'm just looking through. You gave me some points and stuff to hit on. Somebody earlier in the chat was talking about careful with your private keys and everything, but it looks like BTG is going to have replay protection So you won't accidentally lose money by doing transactions and having that also be replayed on the main Bitcoin chain. So that's good. What I am curious about, and the reason why I'm waiting this out more, is I look at the website here and they have links to the source code and to download the binaries, but those links are broken. So
I actually have a release on that. Give me 1 sec. I can get you a date on when that will be released. I believe it's within this week. That will be out. Let's see. Let me see. Sorry about this. I wasn't prepared, but I forgot.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yes, it says that will be out within a week.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I would never touch it if the source code wasn't out there and it wasn't open source. You want to know what you're doing when you use it. You don't want to be just giving away your private keys by using it. So I'll wait and see on that. But
well, I'd like to say, I'd like to add one thing. You know, this is obviously a friendly fork, but I predict in the future there are going to be some super unfriendly forks that are going to be just created to steal people's private key. So be real careful about the future ones too. I think that's something to point out here, that there's not only going to be nice people doing this, there are going to be some bad people that are going to be like, yeah, I'm forking off Bitcoin, but it's just going to be a scam to get people's Bitcoin private keys.
Yeah.
All right, so right here I actually have it. So the public repository will be released sometime this week, and then the software release will be around October 1st.
Yeah. Okay. So, and back on what Adam was saying there, I think you're right. And the more friendly forks that happen, where you just, you get some free money and you buy more Bitcoin with it, or you hold it or whatever, the more that happens, I think the more likelihood there's going to be some purposefully bad forks just for no other reason than to get people to spend on the fork and for those replay attacks on the main chain, like just purposely to steal your private keys. So yeah, Adam, I think you hit the nail on the head. You have to be very careful, and each one should be individually looked at. And don't be the first person to test it out. Let somebody else do that for you. If you start hearing horror stories, then don't touch it.
Exactly. Don't on the first day. Don't try to sell the thing. Just wait until you're comfortable. Don't go crazy. Trying new things, trying to split it on your own. Who knows what options are going to be out there with all these ones that are going to come out and stuff. If the hardware devices are going to make it easy, or if you're going to have to do it in an exchange to split it, I mean, there's no telling what options are going to be out there. So not until you feel comfortable should you jump into these things and try to split it. Again, it's get it for free. I would not buy any of these things either. I mean, like some people are saying they're buying Bcash. Why on earth? I have no idea why people buy Bcash. Like, you get it for free. Why do people?
Well, that's another
genuinely
part.
Upset.
Yeah. Well, that's another part of this Bitcoin Gold fork is they're talking about that there would be so after it forks, there's apparently they're going to mine blocks. They're like almost like a pre-mine when it initially forks of 1,600 blocks, and there's going to be an ICO essentially, so you can get BTG with Bitcoin, and one Bitcoin would be valued at 10 BTG. I would not do that. I'm just going to say to everybody, don't do that, because you don't know what the actual value of BTG is going to be when it launches.
And you're already going to get one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the more prudent move is just, have a bunch of Bitcoin when you get your, then you're taking zero risk, right? You buy 10 BTG for one BTC. Well, so that values it at 1/10 of a Bitcoin per coin. Well, what if it ends up being 1/100th of a Bitcoin? Well, then you've lost a lot of money in that case. More prudent move is, if you really want some BTG, then just hold your Bitcoin or get a little bit more. And then you have something that, in the crypto world is solid. and you can get your free coins. If it's worth more than 1/10 of a Bitcoin afterwards, well, okay, you missed the party a little bit, maybe, but you're still, it's zero risk to hold your Bitcoin and get that dividend. You're assuming a lot of risk by dumping a Bitcoin to get 10 BTG. So yeah, I wouldn't touch that ICO, but I'm sure people will. So
yeah. Unfortunately, I did actually ask about that in the Slack as well, because I saw that on their website and I asked them about it, and it seems that it's not set in stone yet. That is, just the first thing on the table. Again, they are racing to beat SegWit 2x to the punch, so they're kind of gathering all the troops in all the different directions, and they're kind of racing to the finish line. So I don't know if that's going to be exactly how it goes down, but I will try to make sure as soon as the information comes to me, I make sure I can relay it.
I will say this: newbies are just fueling everything these days. So they seem to buy everything, even when it's free. They buy Steem, they buy Bcash. I mean, I tell people not to do it all the time, but they do. I did want to read one thing from the chat. Someone says, "Please don't let these forks happen. I don't want the top 10 coins to all be Bitcoin on CoinMarketCap."
Why?
Okay, so it's like you don't want to get free. Who cares what it says on CoinMarketCap? You know how many people actually know CoinMarketCap even exists in the cryptocurrency world? Very few. I mean, that's you're getting free coins here. Let's get free,
But you know what? Though, if those free coins are in the top 10, that's awesome. We got free money. That's worth a lot.
That's true. But I'll just say this: they're going to be new altcoins are going to keep on jumping into the top 10. The top 10 changes all the time. So who cares what that? Some of them have the most ridiculous names on earth right now. So I mean, who cares what it's called? It's a superficial thing. It's a superficial worry right there. Let's care about the bottom line here, which is money and stopping 2x. And I think in terms of name, if you don't like the name, call it Bgold. I call it Bgold. I call the other one Bcash. I call the other one 2x. That ends the confusion right there. If anyone actually gets confused on like what the real Bitcoin is.
Oh man, how bad was it earlier when they were calling Bitcoin or Bcash BCC? The whole internet was just like, I don't know what to do. I was like, oh, this is gonna be forever.
Yeah, and well, one of the interesting things with this is that they're picking the ticker symbol BTG, which in Asia everyone think they're cool with that. But here, because of CoinMarketCap, if you look up BTG, someone does have BTG already. There is some dead coin that already has it.
So buy some of that.
Yeah. So that's going to get pumped up, that one, obviously, whatever that is. But I mean, they're going with BTG though. Ken, you can confirm that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I was told, man. Bgold and Bitcoin Gold, BTC GPU, and BTG are the names they're going by.
Yeah. I was speaking of having the top 10 all Bitcoins. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen it by now, but somebody on Twitter posted the joke where it's like CoinMarketCap next year. And for Bcash, they had taken the Bitcoin symbol and just tilted it at a different angle. Well, they had like all top 10, all Bitcoin, whatever, Bitcoin money, Bitcoin gold, Bitcoin, all this. And just the B was just always at a slightly different angle all the way down.
I did see that, and that's what might happen. Maybe there will. I mean, maybe it'll get so trendy that's the only way new altcoins are joined in the top 10. I don't know. I doubt it gets that extreme. Ethereum isn't going anywhere. Litecoin isn't going anywhere.
And
sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think the more this happens too, the less attention they're gonna get. Like I don't think people keep on calling them Bitcoin this and Bitcoin that, or even if they don't, I feel like there's going to be a burst of these, but eventually nobody's going to pay attention to them because, if you spin off some shitcoin from Bitcoin and there's already 100 other ones, like, are you going to take the time to do the research, make sure it's safe, and then pull out your money if it's only worth like $10 per Bitcoin that you hold? Probably not. And once the market gets saturated with these forks, these even friendly forks, people will just, it's going to further solidify what Bitcoin is. There's not going to be any question in anybody's mind what it is. And the dividends, I think, while they'll be there, unless there's some reason for it to be as high as it is, I don't think you're going to have like another Bitcoin Cash instance in like even a year or two from now, because, you know, Bitcoin Gold is the first that we're seeing that friendly fork that is excited about banking on all this stuff. And it's going to get old fast, and people are going to stop caring if the reward is not worth the research.
Right. I think it's unique approach to the dividend, going with the GPU route and quote unquote, the friendly fork is what really makes it stand out. And I hope that, does kind of diffuse the fork FUD coming our way soon. Like Adam likes to coin phrases. And when Bcash came out, I started, saying like Bitcoin's going to become an altcoin pinata. If I just hold this thing, random shit's going to fall out of it. It's like, ooh, look at Snickers. Every once in a while it'll be something you like. So I personally wish I listened to Omar Bam when I had him on my show and we talked about Bcash, and he was like, dude, it's free. Just hold it. And I did not listen. I dumped it under like $200, I think. And now I'm sitting here like, well, yeah, I'm not doing that on this one. This one, I'm going to approach it differently. I'm going to probably consolidate my portfolio in the opposite direction I did last time. So I took some Bitcoin out. This time I'll buy some more Bitcoin, get rid of the altcoins. The more Bitcoin I hold, the more altcoins I get anyway. So it kind of relieves the stress of even day trading in a sense. I'll get free coin to day trade with and hold some, and eventually, dump it for Bitcoin if that's the case, if that ever happens. But I do like the idea of this entire, Bitcoin altcoin pinata thing where people are going to be like, you know what? Holding this isn't going to be shit compared to, staking Bitcoin if all these altcoins are going to come out of it.
Well, yeah. And you got to think people that are holding Bitcoin Cash, they're not going to get, I very much doubt that Bitcoin Cash is going to have like some sort of a contentious fork where the fork is valuable enough to get a dividend out of it. So
if they went about it the way that Bitcoin BTC is going, the root blockchain, as Adam was calling it, they would not have the same success. They're not forking from Bitcoin. They're forking from a fork of Bitcoin. That's not the same.
Yeah. I don't think it would have much.
It's like that movie, Multiplicity. If you clone a clone, eventually she touched my peppy, Steve. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. I love that. That needs to be memed right now. Okay, I'm calling out to what's his Dan Dark Pill or whatever the hell it is. If he can meme the multiplicity, the movie poster and have Bitcoin and then like all the spin-offs like Bitcoin Cash and then Clams and then Bgold and all that crap behind it.
Great.
That'd be incredible.
Please tag me.
Somebody send him that. Somebody please get him on that. Maybe I'll tweet him afterwards. Great idea. I love it.
But that is how I feel, man. I just, it's going to make this make sense to people that are sitting there reading the FUD. Eventually, the more of this that happens, the less of an effect it will have, and I think that it will, if or less of a negative effect and more of a positive effect for Bitcoin.
One thing, I don't think anyone would fork Bcash. I mean, I don't know if there are any real fans of Bcash out there. I mean,
there are. They're really loud on my Twitter. And
well, no. I think they're just trolls that don't like Bitcoin. They might be like Ethereum holders. I don't know. If people want to keep on buying Bcash and pumping up the price, then play that game. But what I think might happen here is if this fork, these friendly fork crypto dividends of Bitcoin get played out, what someone eventually is going to do is they're going to fork Litecoin and create a Litecoin crypto dividend.
Litecoin Cash?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's not just, Bitcoin won't be the only root coin. There are going to be other ones, but the other ones will be, you'll see, it'll be a way to show what is a real legitimate coin. If it has its own crypto dividends, then it gives you another reason to hold that coin. It takes that coin to a whole new level. So I would not be shocked if this Bitcoin forking gets played out, that if someone just does it for Litecoin, just for the heck of it, just for the publicity, just to create an altcoin because if you remember in the heyday of altcoins, people were just coming up with all sorts of weird gimmicks and stuff, and people were just buying them. And why? Same thing's going to happen with these forks. There'll be all sorts of weird little gimmicks, and people will just be buying them.
Brian in the comment section, Doge Cash.
Why not? Why not? It would not shock me if someone forms a crypto dividend out of a Dogecoin, but I think Litecoin will be the first one.
Yeah, great. You had to say that. You do know now the Doge community just made that a bet, right?
Probably. Oh, that's great. Okay, well, gents, I'm gonna start wrapping this up here. I know we're going on about 45 minutes or so. But what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna get you guys to let everyone know where they can find you, and then Ken, afterwards, if you can send me and Adam any relevant links, and I'll place those in the description down below. But let's start with Adam this time. Can you tell everybody where to find you?
Yeah, just go to disruptmeister.com or look up Bitcoin Meister on YouTube. That's my channel. You can email me at adam@trezorhelp.com if you need a crypto consultation, you want to talk, you want to set up your Trezor. I do all sorts of fun things. adam@trezorhelp.com, or you can just email me anything.
Awesome. Thank you. And Ken, can you let everybody know where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey. Just come on. No, Kenn Bosak on Facebook, Kenn Bosak on YouTube, KennBosak.com. Kenn Bosak on Xbox Live. I pretty much have the worst username handles ever. It's just my name. So you can find me very easily. Just Kenn Bosak in Google. You'll find me everywhere. The BitcoinPodcast.com, where I have my own podcast on their network. And I want people to kind of take away that if something were to go wrong, where Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and all Bitcoin 2x and everything battle for ASIC mining, if that falls to hell, that may be where Bitcoin Gold could come into play, where it's back to square one, the GPU mining, where we can pick back off on a more decentralized version of Bitcoin.
Anything is possible. And I want to say to everybody in the chat, everybody watching, thank you so much for watching. If you're not already, you can hit me up on Twitter at BTCBenny, or which corner? This corner over here down below. I'm on Steemit now because some of my videos are just by default being demonetized. So I try to repost my stuff on Steemit because fuck YouTube.
I would love to do a live where we talk about that, man. I don't want to stretch out this video, but that's not right, brother.
Yeah. I have no idea why they demonetize. Maybe it's because you're using the F word or something. I have no idea. It could be something.
All mine are green, and I am the probably worst for YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been back and forth. Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do a show about this. But for now, just know that either my stuff is getting demonetized like entirely, or it gets demonetized and then I submit it, but I miss out on like all the initial views, which is most of them, because it doesn't get through the system for another couple days. So anyways, Steemit, if you want to check me out there, give me an upvote, then that is always much appreciated. But thank you guys so much for watching. Adam, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And
pound
Ken,
that like button. Pound that like button.
Yes, hit that like button. And Ken, thanks for being here.
Have a night, guys.
Yeah, and we'll see you all next time. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Woo!